to episode 7 of Ina Knits, my video podcast about my passions for yarn and knitting. My name is Ina and I am coming to you from the midden part of Norway, where we currently have less and less daylight, so it's becoming a bit more difficult to record this podcast with sufficient daylight, that is. At the moment we are having 6 minutes of, we are losing 6 minutes of daylight every day. And that maybe not seem like much, but it actually adds up to 1 hour in 10 days. So we are losing nearly an hour of daylight every week. And that we can feel quite well. So in the evening I think now it's starting to darken. It's before 4 o'clock, maybe past 3, and it's not full daylight until 9 o'clock in the morning. And it will be even more dark, of course, and yeah, that's just how it is to live far north on the northern hemisphere. And yeah, I at the moment need a lot of sleep because I get quite tired of not having as much daylight as in the summertime, and yeah, I need a lot of fresh air and exercise, and need to take advantage of the daylight when it is here in order to keep it going. Yeah, so but it's very cozy in the evenings, and every time we eat dinner we lit candles, and that is very cozy. So it's both ups and downs, as for everything else, I guess. So a warm welcome to you all. If you're new, thanks for checking me out. I hope that you will enjoy this podcast, and if you have watched before, welcome back. I have a lot to show you this time as well, and I have decided to keep the administrative stuff for the later part of the podcast. I have exciting news. I have some knit along info. I have giveaway winners to announce. But I have decided to do that all after all the knitting. So if you're interested to jump back and forth, I have put timestamps in the show notes so that it will be easier for you to skip to the part that you really want to see. It's very nice to be here with you again, and I'm so grateful that so many are finding this podcast interesting and inspiring, and it really warms my heart when I read your comments about, well, that I showed off something, and that it has inspired you to cast on something new, or tried out stranded knitting, or tried out knitting mittens or whatever for the first time. That is one of the main reasons I wanted to start this podcast. So thank you so much for that, and for letting me know. I want to show you what I'm wearing. This is a shawl that is a big favorite of mine. It is the succulent shawl, and the designer is Maria Monska. She is the woman behind another video podcast which is called Stitched in Sweden. She's an American living in Stockholm, Sweden. And she has some lovely designs, and this is one of them. And it's not the simplest knit, but because it has a very beautiful lace pattern, and it is patterned both on the right side and the wrong side, so it's a lot to pay attention to. But I love this shawl so much, and I guess it is due to the combination of the pattern and the yarn. And the yarn I've used is Holst Super Soft, which is a non-treated 100% wool yarn from Denmark. And it is one of those yarns that is quite stiff and very rustic to knit with. But once you soak it and wash it and soak it, it will bloom and become much softer. So it is not a recommended yarn for persons who are quite sensitive on the neck area skin, but I don't mind at all, and it keeps its shape beautifully. So I definitely want another shawl in this yarn. So yeah, the succulent shawl. I have 4 finished objects to show you today. Firstly, I have the Nordic's Delights Beanie. And this beanie is my contribution in the Nordic Stitches knit along that I am hosting together with Arctic Knitting Emilia. And this is a pattern that Nordic Stitches, which is Lily, has designed, and it is beautiful. I really love this combination of pattern and yarn and construction. So it is quite simple. It has twisted rib, which makes the ribbing very elegant, I think. And yeah, it has this flower design and some laces on top and borders. And I chose to add a pom-pom. I think it's very cute. The yarn I have used is Sterk from Du Store Alpakka, or DSA. It's a Norwegian brand, and they specialize in alpaca yarn. And this alpaca it's a sport weight, and it is with nylon, so it's quite strong. Yeah. So I think it turned out so great, and I have been wearing it a couple of times already, and I suspect that I will get a lot of wear out of it during the winter. So yeah, I think I knit this in 2 or 3 days, so it's quite a fast knit. And I am thinking about maybe knitting another one for a Christmas gift, because it was very fun, and fast to knit. And I love how it turned out. So I have used several scraps. I have used quite a lot of Sterk yarn before. So these was leftovers from sweaters and hats and things that I have knit from Sterk before. Yeah. So, Nordic's Delights Beanie. My second finished object is living in my brand new fringe supply bag. Yay! I have been wanting this bag for so long, and my friend Daisy, she was so kind as to buy one for me while she was in New York for the Rhinebeck festival. Yay! And she even added a Legacy Fiber Arts button, and I also got the Needles Up stitch marker because she was attending that event in Rhinebeck. So now I really feel like I was almost at Rhinebeck this year. I'm not envious of you that went at all, no. Okay. My Nia mittens are done. And these are a pattern from SKeindeer Knits, and it is the second pair in her Selbu mitten club. And the pattern is so lovely. It is resembling the river Nea, which runs to Selbu, which is not far away from where I live, here in Norway. And yeah, as all the other patterns that she has released in this club, it is a really enjoyable knit, and they go by so fast. And because it's all stranded knitting, something new is happening every row, and that I find very pleasing when I knit. And yeah, I have been using two different yarns. The green one is Jeopard Sömansgarn, and the grey color is Gjesdal Vestlandsgarn. And this was how much I had left of the grey one, so I was quite concerned at the end there because I only had one ball of it. I don't know if you can see it, but I reversed the colors on the second mitten. I think I didn't do it on like super purpose, but when I started the second mitten, I discovered after some rows that I had been casting on in the opposite color. And first I thought maybe I should just rip it out and start over because I hadn't knit more than 3 or 4 rounds. But then I reconsidered and thought that it might be fun to have reversed mittens. I don't know. Well, that's how it is anyway. I think I love them. I'm not sure whether I'm going to give them away for Christmas or if I'm going to keep them. Now I have knitted 3 pairs of Selbu mittens in DK weight, and I really want to cast on the Flora mittens, which is the 3rd pair in the club, and they came out just a week ago, and they are super beautiful. The only thing that I am now thinking about is to do a small modification on the next mitten, and that, if you can see, the cuff is very snug on these mittens, and that goes for all the pair in her club. And I think that I will maybe on the next pair just skip the cuff and do a ribbed cuff instead, which is a bit more flexible, and yeah, I think it makes the mitten a bit more versatile maybe. And I think the main problem for me is on the left hand where I am wearing my watch, because then the watch is like making it a bit hard for me to put the mitten on. I guess it's okay, but I'm a bit concerned that yeah, that I will maybe destroy the mitten, I don't know, when I'm pulling it over the clock, and maybe it will catch one of the floats and rip them off. Yeah. So, ribbed cuff on the next one, I think. And unfortunately, I have run out of DK weight yarn in non-superwash wool in my stash. So either I have to buy new yarn for the next pair, or I will try out knitting with a fingering weight yarn held double. It should be the same, shouldn't it? DK is double knit, isn't it? So fingering times 2 will equal DK, won't it? I think so. Yes, the 2 next finished objects are both socks. The first one is my pink Happy Scrappy socks, and I have knit them. They are essentially shorty socks, but I have knitted the cuff a bit higher than I usually do on shorty socks. And these are made out of small scraps that I had in my stash. And it is super nice to be able to use small scraps and that they turn out to something very useful, like socks. And yeah, I knit them cuff down. I think I knit 1 by 1 rib for 15 rounds, and these are, I'm not sure if I casted on 56 or 60. I think it's 56 stitches. And I just knitted 3 rounds of each color. I carried the strands all the way, and I can show you the inside. Yeah, so here you can see I just carried all 3 yarns all the way, which makes it much easier when it comes to all the ends that needs to be woven in. And I essentially knitted just a tube. I put in a scrap yarn for the heel here, and I continue knitting, and I did an afterthought heel, and I have knitted quite a few pairs of afterthoughts heels lately. I used up essentially all of the yarn for these two socks. All I have left is in this color from Oslo Micro Diary. Both of the light pink and the hot pink is used. So happy scrappy socks are done. My final finished object is my Christmas socks. This is REgia Arne Carlos Pairfect, and it is the garden colorway. I actually find these colors very Christmassy, but when I looked it up online, I found out that the color is called garden. It also has a number. It is 09136. This is the label. So yeah, the cuff is super long. It's 32 rounds of 2x2 ribbing, and I have knitted the leg in 60 stitches. I did slip stitch heel flap and a gusset decrease, and then I decreased down to 58 stitches for the foot, because a 60 stitch sock knit on 2.5mm needle can be a bit sloppy, soggy on my foot. So that is why. And then I did my regular toe decrease and crafted the toe using Kitchener stitch, as I always do. So yeah, I'm really happy with these. They will definitely now be used by me, and I'm very inspired by all the beautiful Christmas socks that I see other podcasters knit nowadays. I think Amy from Stranded podcast, she is having holiday themed knit along with socks. I don't recall the name of the knit along, but she has posted a lot of suggested sock patterns for her knit along, and they're all using so beautiful colors, and you really get in that Christmassy spirit when you see them. So I'm so tempted to cast on more Christmassy socks. And Sarah from Love Sock Wool podcast, she also has just started her annual 12 pairs of socks for Christmas knit along. Yeah, so I guess maybe I will put my Christmas sock into those knit alongs, and I think I will cast on another pair. Actually, I can show you now. I have a sock blank. This is a sock blank that I purchased from Stranded Dye Works last year. This was her Christmas colorway from 2016. And I knit a pair of socks for my eldest daughter. She got them in her advent calendar last year. And this is what's left. I am not sure if it's a full 50 gram left. I don't think so. But at least it's about 40 grams. So it will definitely be enough for another pair of socks for me. Given that I do contrasting cuffs, heels and toes. So I'm not sure if I'm going to pair it with white or if I'm going to pair it with green. I have quite a lot left over from the Arne Carlos Pairfect pair, and I will of course unwind all the yellow. It's just not meant for using. But underneath it's just this plain green color that I think goes quite well with the sock blank. So either white or green, I think. We shall see. On to whips. Works in progress. I don't have many works in progress to show you today because I've been focusing on finishing up things, and I have also I've started preparing for Christmas and Advent, which I always do when November starts, because then it's only 1 month left, right? So I have one garment that I have decided to give away for Christmas, and I have been mentioning it before, but I haven't really started it until now. It is a pullover for my youngest daughter, she's 12 years old. And I bought the yarn earlier this autumn, and it is Drops Brushed Alpaca Silk in this dusty rose pink color. And I have started, I only knitted this little piece, which is prøvelapp is the Norwegian word. I'm totally blanking on what it's called on English. Yeah, but I have tested out different needle sizes to see which fabric I like most, because this is a very fine yarn and it's quite thin. So, and I don't want the sweater to be like completely see-through, but at the same time I don't want it to be compact as well. So what I'm trying to say is that I am totally improvising this sweater. I haven't found a pattern. I have decided that I want to make a raglan sweater, and I think I'm going to use the So Faded sweater as template. I have that pattern already because I have knitted the sweater. So I think I have now landed on what needle size to use, and then I'm just going to try to match that gauge with the gauge in the So Faded pattern. And yeah, I will try that. Hopefully it will work out fine. and I think it will knit up quite fast because it's a lovely yarn, and I can use quite large needles, so yeah. Okay, so I will get on with that sweater quite soon because I need to get it finished in time for Christmas, obviously. Another Christmassy project I'm working on are some Christmas balls. I have this book, which is called Christmas Balls, I believe, in English. Julekuler in norsk, by Arne and Carlos. I bought this book many years ago, and I have knitted quite a few of these Christmas balls before. And I really love them, and I have gifted a lot of these balls before. They makes quite nice, like if you want a small gift to give away to a neighbor or to a colleague or a friend or something, just a small thing to give away. I think these balls are so lovely to gift. So, and we are at my work. I work in an office. I don't think I've ever mentioned this, but I'm an engineer. In my office we are having an advent calendar, and which means that everybody has to contribute with 2 wrapped up gifts each, and every day we draw 1 winner. And I have decided that my contribution this year will be 2 Christmas balls. So yeah, these are knitted in fingering weight untreated wool, and I have knitted these on smaller needles than the pattern calls for, and that is because I tend to knit quite loose when I knit stranded color work. Yeah. So these are completed. I only need to fill them with some polyfill, I think I have, or cotton, I'm not sure. But I will fill them up and finish up the top, sew the hole, and make the string, the thing that you have on top. And then they will be complete. I mean, these are knitting up so fast. I knit 1.5 ball in 1 evening. So perfect for small gifts. And they were so enjoyable to knit again. So I'm definitely going to knit more. Definitely. And yeah, that was actually all my active whips at the moment. Oh. As I didn't have many whips, I wanted to show you whips that I have been working on before that are now officially going into the frog pond. Firstly, I guess this is not a surprise for you, as I talked about it last time. My Speckle and Pop shawl by Stephen West. I'm not loving this anymore. It will be frogged. I put so much lovely yarn into this. can't afford to just let it be into this shawl that I will probably never wear. So I'm frogging it, it's official. Another project that I am going to frog are these socks. The Dragon Pox socks. And they have a pattern on the front and it's just plain stockinette on the back. And I have been using contrasting cuff and put in a scrap yarn for the heel, which will also be contrast. And I'm knitting these out of Knit Picks Stroll Tweed. And I really love the color, but I don't like the pattern. And it became too complicated for me to work out how far I was to knit the pattern before I was going to start the toe, because yeah, you do some changes in the pattern before you reach the toe, and as I didn't follow the pattern when it came to the heel, I need to know that I start the pattern change in time to make the toe not far down or far up. It needs to add up so that the length of the foot will be correct for my size. All the modifications. Well, anyway, I am thinking that I will, or I have decided to rip them off on. I have decided that I'm going to frog them all the way up to the cuff. And what I will do is that I will probably knit the Mercury socks instead, because I love the pattern of the Mercury socks, so I think that it will be Tweedy Mercury socks instead. So that was my new segment, the frog pond. That was all the knitting I had to show you this time. But I do have some acquisitions. I already showed you the fringe supply bag, which came in under 2 weeks ago. I have also fallen for the temptation of trying out the Lykke needles. I've heard so much about it, and when I discovered that the Norwegian online shop Tweedy Todd, they carried Lykke needles, I just had to run over there and buy a set for myself. So Tweedy Todd is the shop, and here they are. Yeah, so I bought the short needles. I'm not sure how long they are, but I really enjoy shorter needles, so that's fine with me. And I think they vary between 8.5 millimeters, they're the biggest, and the smallest are 3.5. No, 3.25. Can't wait to try them out. Another thing that has come in is from Countess Ablaze. I mean, come on. Okay, so this is the Classic Society. It's a subscription that you sign up for. I think they have both, yeah, they have different packages that you can sign up for, but I have signed up for a 3-month subscription, and every month they send you one hank of 100 gram of their yarn in a special edition colorway, and it's something special every time as well. So, and this is, I turned 40 earlier this year, and I got gift certificate for my birthday. So this is part of my 40th birthday present from my family. And inside this lovely package is the hank of yarn in a super fresh color. It's called the Realm of the Elves, and it's 100% superwash merino in fingering weight. It's such a beautiful color. I can't wait to knit with it. What also came with it is this one. It's yeah, I haven't read through it, but I think it's saying a lot about the background of the yarn they have chose for this subscription. It's pattern for a lovely shawl, which is made especially for the yarn. And yeah, something about the Classic Society Club. And together with the yarn I got a coloring book and 12 pencils. So that was quite fun. I also bought my very first hank of a homespun house yarn. And well, I didn't actually need another skein of holiday yarn, but I decided I just wanted to try it out because she makes beautiful yarns, and she was coming out with a special edition colorway called Christmas at Hogwarts, which is Christmas in Harry Potter world. If you don't want to see this, please look away because it was a surprise colorway. Have you looked away now? Okay. This is how it's. I mean, come on. I think this is one of the most beautiful dyed yarn I have ever seen. The colors are so rich and have so much depth to it. So yeah, I mean, I can't wait to knit with this, but I have no idea what it will be. So okay, safe to see again. I have one of my colleagues at work. She came with a bag full of Finull yarn the other day, and she asked if anyone was interested. I mean, come on, a bag full of yarn? Of course I'm interested. So, yeah, these are the colors. And there are 4 skeins of the off-white color, just a neutral white. And there are 3 balls of this light brown tan color, and 1 ball of the darker brown. So yeah, she had made a couple of blankets with them, and she didn't know what to do with the rest. So I just volunteered to adopt these balls, as you do. Now I have some admin stuff to share with you. First of all, I would like to thank all of you who has joined my new Ravelry group. I think we are over 200 members there now, and it is so lovely to read all your introductions. I tried to reply to everybody. I replied to a few of the first ones, and then I realized that it became too much work for me to reply to everybody, so I apologize that I didn't reply to all, but I have been enjoying reading all of the introductions, and I marked off by clicking the little button called love or like, so that you can see that I have read it. And yeah, so thank you everybody who has contributed in the Ravelry group so far. Currently we have one knit along going on in there, and that is the Nordic Stitches knit along, where we knit together in support of Nordic Stitches, which is who is a talented knitting pattern designer, and she has a lot of beautiful patterns out on Ravelry, and I myself knitted the Nordic Delights beanie, and she also has shawls, socks, other hats and mittens to choose from. We had a knit or a pattern giveaway, which I have already drawn for, and 3 of you has received a pattern from the Nordic Stitches shop. And yeah, we have a chat thread in there, and we can talk about the patterns that we are knitting up, and we have a finished object thread. The sweet Lily of Nordic Stitches, she also has an Etsy shop, and she is selling progress keepers, and she so kindly donated 2 sets of her beautiful progress keepers. And one is for me and one is for one of you lovely guys. And in these sets there are 1, beautiful butterfly progress keeper. There's one spider for Halloween, and there is one little bell, which is the Christmas stitch marker for progress keeper. And I have decided that I want to give this set away, and I will draw a winner from the finished object thread for the Nordic Stitches cowl in 2 weeks, so when my next episode is out. So if you have a project on the needles, you have a chance of winning progress keepers if you finish them up in 2 weeks' time and post them in the finished object thread. I also have a couple of winners to announce, and that is the winners of the 1000 subscriber on YouTube giveaway. And I excuse me. And in that giveaway I was gifting one hank of Countess Ablaze yarn in a sparkly Christmassy color, and I also was gifting a 50-gram hank of Musky Pecan self-striping Christmas color together with 2 10 grams from Herbstblatt Regina. And I had 104 entries in the giveaway, and I, as always, asked Siri on my iPhone to choose 2 numbers between 2 and 104, and the winners were number 67, which is Isoflow, and 84, which is Xeno team. So congratulations, both of you. Isoflow, you will receive Musky Pecan, and Xenoflow, you will receive Countess Ablaze. So please send me a message on Ravelry or an email with your full name and address, and I will post those prizes out to you as soon as possible. And thank you to all that participated in the giveaway. I also have some exciting news, and that is that I am now officially going to make some vlogs during Advent. And I'm thinking that, well, as much as I would like to vlog every day for Vlogmas, that will be way too much work for me. So I have decided to make it 4 episode long Advent vlog thing, which means that I will film some clips during the week, and I will probably post first episode of the Advent vlog just after the first Sunday of Advent, and then there will be 4 in total, so 1 for each week of Advent. So I'm thinking about just showing you how we spend our Advent here in Norway, or at least here where I live, what we do and what we make and what we bake and eat. And yeah, I know that some of you are very interested in Norwegian Christmas traditions, so I really like to share some of those with you. So hopefully that will be a fun thing. So yeah, stay tuned for that. That was everything I wanted to talk to you about this time. I thank you so much for watching, and please hit the like button if you enjoyed watching, and subscribe if you would like a notification when a new episode is out. I hope you are well, and happy knitting! Bye bye!